Hello everyone, welcome to session number 8 of e-marketing. This is chapter 9, the product, which is the first P of the marketing mix. We'll cover that in the form of online offer. Here are the objectives of this chapter 9. First one is defining the product and describing how it contributes to the customer value. Specifically, we'll talk about the online product, discuss how attributes, branding, support the services and support services and labeling apply to online products. And then finally, we'll outline some of the key factors in the e-marketing enhance product development when we are developing new products. Before we continue, I want to show you this previous slide which was part of the session 3, and if you recall, we were talking about using this slide for the purpose of the balance of the chapters. We said in the tier 1 tasks was the segmentation, differentiation, positioning and targeting strategies, which we covered in the last session. And then now we are going to be covering this step number 4 of the marketing plan. This is part of the e-marketing plan, in which you have this, as you notice, is part of the marketing mix, which is the product, price, place, and promotion. And we have sort of put the other word in the form of, because it's online, that's why we call it, instead of a product, we call it an offer. And then instead of price, we call it the value which the individual will be getting or the customer will be getting. And then the distribution for the purpose of place, and communication for the purpose of promotion. And apart from that, we have also added the last one, which is of course the highlight of the online marketing or the e-marketing plan, and that is the customer relationship management or partner relationship management. We will discuss that too. So let's go one chapter each on each of those, and today we'll be talking about the first chapter, which is the offer or the product. So you can see easily how it fits in there. We are moving around the circle over here, and we'll end up over here in the last session. I'll come back to the Google story in a minute, but first let's talk about the product. What's a product? A product is a bundle of benefits that satisfy the needs of organizations or consumers. In your principles of marketing, you have learned more about the products, and you've seen that the product there are 3 types of products or parts of products, you can say. One is the actual product, then is the augmented product, and then the potential product. Those are the 3 various parts of the product, and as you can see, it includes the goods, services, ideas, people, and places. Products such as the search engine, which is an online product, are unique to the internet, while others simply use the internet as a new distribution channel. So for example, in the case of books, when you are selling online books, you are using the internet, the capability of the internet, to distribute your products all over the world, because that's an excellent new distribution medium. On the other hand, products like the search engine, as we are saying, this is the product of the internet. If there was no internet, there would be no search engine. So this is very unique. Same way we can talk about eBay or the online auctions. These products are also based on the online characteristics though. Organizations use research to determine what is important to customers when creating new product. Very important, of course. The basic idea of product development is still the same, even if it's online. And that idea is that try to fulfill the needs and wants of the customers and those products should be able to benefit or create benefit for the customer, which it satisfies their need for them or their organizations for which they are purchasing the product. As you said, the marketing mix and the CRM together we will be using to produce the relational and transactional outcomes with the consumers. Relational means building relations and then using the transactions in order to build a closer relationship for the outcome with the consumers. So having said that, to give you this overview of the products, let's go back now to the Google story, which is part of the uh, chapter. Beginning of the chapter, you have this short case, and it talks about a company called Google. All of us are familiar with that. They started in 1998. That was the time when Net had already started in 1996, of course, and this was about 2-3 years after that. So it was not a brand new product in itself, and they were able to at least use the equipment available, or the infrastructure of the internet was available for them. However, the product which they launched was the innovative new search strategy that ranked results on popularity as well as the keywords. This was the capability of the internet which was really not exploited before. So Google came up with really powerful ways to search the net when customer is looking for. If you look at today, for example, today Google performs 1 billion searches a month. People perform about 1 billion searches a month all over the world. They speak 345 languages and is the most visited website in the US especially, and we are seeing that the fame of Google is spreading all over the world. In 2010, it had revenues of $29.3 billion, out of which you can see approximately 1/3 of that was their profit, 30% of that. So good profit margins in there, and very profitable company, as we will see that in such a short time they are able to become a very, very popular brand all over the world. What does it do? Why it has become so successful? It uses the media e-business model to generate revenue from B2B markets as well, licensing for its search services, and also sales of advertising to the web advertisers. So they come up with very unique products, and here we are seeing Google's product mix includes 24 search products. There are different products, 24 different products, 3 advertising products, 20 applications, and many enterprise products too. So if you look at it from that perspective, they have been launching products again to satisfy the needs of the customer. One of their product is ad the AdWords, which is a popular product because of the fact that um, they call it the AdWords, ADWORDS, AdWords. What it does is it is catering to the small businesses, the localized businesses, so that if you or I are searching the Google, and we go on Google and search it, if we are in Tejon, then it'll give us on the sideline, it'll give us the advertisement for the small businesses in that area. Or if it's in other than localized, it will give some kind of uh, international websites too, which are related to what we are doing. So as an example, some of you probably already know that when you get an email, for example, or when you're writing an email also using the Google or the Gmail, and based on the wording which is inside your email, Google will read those, and then based on that, it will offer you various products ads. That is part of the AdWords. Very, very powerful. So as an example, if I was getting some information from a university and it had mentioned the university, or maybe it had mentioned master's program, then on the sideline it will show me various university ads in which they are showing that how different programs are being offered. Now obviously if one is interested in that, would click on it and go to their website, and this is where Google makes money. Now focusing on what we said about marketing mix in the previous diagram, we said there are 4 P's and 1 CRM. And if you look at this diagram, again another important diagram in which we are seeing all 4 P's, the offer we are talking about now. This offer is nothing unless it is communicated to the customer, of course, right? Same way the offer is nothing if you don't distribute it through the right channel, or maybe sell it directly, and unless it provides value. You've learned that previously also in the other courses, that the formula which says value or the customer value is equal to benefit minus the cost. Customer value is equal to benefit minus the cost. So the customers are really looking for value. It doesn't matter if it's online or offline, they're always looking for value. If it provides them the value, they will buy your product if it is the value is better than the competition. So it's very important that you offer them something better than the competition. Here we have a good statement from Sir Richard Branson, of the chairman of the Virgin Group. It's on page 223 at the beginning of the chapter, and it quotes, "Give people more of what they want and success will follow you." What it means is that if you are providing better value to your customers, then you will be successful. And especially if this value is better than the competition, then there is no reason why customer will not come to you. So then all of these 4 P's, they lead to the customer relationship management, and I'll tell you why this is so important. We probably mentioned that in one of the previous session also, but I'd like to emphasize on that. Why is it that we are including the customer CRM here? In the offline marketing, we only have this marketing mix, but in online marketing, we are including this too. One of the reasons why we are doing that is because most of the cases when we are purchasing products online, the organizations are far. Or the same way, if you're looking at from our perspective, let's say we are offering products, the customer is far. So we need to build some kind of relationship with them so that they feel comfortable, so that they come back again, so that they tell others as well. This comes in the form of relational outcome. The outcome should be relations. The outcome should not be just transaction. It should be more of a relation. In other words, you have now a customer, you could send them email thanking them for their business. You can ask them if they need any other assistance or maybe other products which you can help them with. And remember now, because the technology has become so inexpensive, and especially the means of communication has become so inexpensive, that should not be a problem, right? For those of you who have experience ordering products online, you might have also noticed, and especially if you have done that through Amazon, you will notice that every step of the way you keep on getting emails. The reason is that emails are almost free, right? So they like to communicate with you as much as possible so that if there is open communication, it builds up the relationship in the long term too. And that's what the company's objective is. Here's what I just said about customer value. It is equal to benefit minus the cost. Product decision must be made that delivers benefit to the customer. So in this case, if you want to increase the customer value, it is important that you increase the benefits. Okay. Today we are not talking about the costs. There are some issues with the cost which we'll discuss in the next session, and that is when we'll be talking about the pricing. But let's focus on the benefits part. And as we said, the product decisions must be made that deliver benefits to the customers. And how you can increase those benefits are based on these four areas, especially online. When you're doing that, these are based on these four areas. The attributes related to that products or service which you're offering, the branding, how famous is your brand, and then the support services, what kind of support service do you provide to your customers. Okay, and then the labeling, which we'll talk about. Labeling is similar to giving some kind of brochure or giving information online about your products, which gives instructions on how to download, how to utilize, and if there are any issues, to get the support as well. So let's go through each of those. The product benefits we just mentioned over here, the attributes, the branding, the supporting service, and the support services and labeling. So the first one is attributes. The attributes include the quality and the specific features of that product. So of course, customers know that when they are being offered a product, based on the price, there is some kind of tag in, which is the reflection of the quality as well. So the attribute, if the perception is that it's a good quality product, then the customer will perceive that it's a good value which they're getting. Benefits are the same features from a user perspective. So these are the features which they are getting from that product, utilizing it, or maybe using it, or maybe for the service purpose too, what kind of benefit they are getting from that product. The internet increases the customer benefits in ways that have revolutionized marketing. So you see, going back to this formula again, the benefits minus the cost, we are looking at the benefits in the form of attributes, and let's see in this slide we're talking about some examples on ways that have really revolutionized marketing. Number one, the media, the music, the software, and the digital products can be presented on the web. This is where they are getting value. The customer is getting value. So for example, if I was interested in some music, and one way would be maybe company number one or company number A is saying that, okay, once you make us the payment, we'll ship you that CD, and once you receive that CD, uh, then you can start listening to that music. On the other hand, if there's another company online and they say you make the payment now and we'll send you the link right away, and when you click on that link you can start listening to that music, downloading and listening to the music. Don't you think in this second case you're adding value for the customer because of this benefit? Okay. Now, what is interesting is that this kind of benefit, which I said about downloading it from the internet, that not only benefits the customer, but also it benefits the organization too, in the form of reducing the cost for them. Now they don't have to pay for the shipping cost, they don't have to pay for producing the CD. All they are doing is they are just having you download the music through that link which they will be providing you. So this is what we are talking about, how this internet has revolutionized the marketing to provide the customer benefits. Similarly, mass customization is possible now. Using the net, you could do mass customization. And let me clarify, in this case, usually the customization is done on one-to-one basis, in which you are saying, okay, we want to produce products according to individual customers' needs and wants. What is so interesting now is that you could do that online by mass customization. This is basically a terminology which is being used now for the internet, because you can't do customization, mass customization offline. It will be difficult. So mass customization is possible online. A good example for that would be a product. If you have a product for, let's say, an email, and you want to you log in on that for the first time, or maybe if you're doing that for the first time, they'll ask you for your information, and then the next time when you log in, it'll welcome you based on your name, and that is customization. So mass customization, because it doesn't matter if you have ordered things differently than your friend, but still the internet has the capability to be able to customize it for you. Similarly, if for example you are interested in a certain car and you go on their website, then you can do customization on that too. You might, for example, select and say, I want to build my own car and I want to have interiors to be different and very unique, and then outside also unique color. Now once you build up your car, that's a customized thing, then the automobile company might ask you that yes, we may have this car available in a certain showroom, and you could go and test drive that car. So imagine if you have already built a certain car and you like that, and if it's already available, or maybe the company is saying we can build a car for you, wouldn't that be great? This is exactly what mass customization is. And then in this case, the good thing is that because they are building it for you, if they charge you a high price, you don't mind paying for that too, right? I can give you another example of the jeans, like Levi's jeans. You can do also customization based on your own fittings, because usually when you buy them in the stores, they are not really uh, suitable, or maybe based on your body size, you may not like them as much. So Levi's has come up with this mass customization based on which you give them the measurement and they'll take care of it through the 60,000 such measurements available in their computer, and they can sew one jeans for you and ship it to you. Of course, in that case, you are willing to pay extra because this has been sewn just for you. User personalization of the shopping experience also can be achieved as well. Secondly, the benefits from the point of view of branding. As you all know, brand is a promise from the organization that they will deliver to you the product or the service consistently all the time. So for example, when you purchase Apple products, the Apple brand has promised that their products are innovative, they'll be very unique, and you will enjoy their products, and that's what they deliver. Similarly, you go to a brand like McDonald's restaurant, you will be offered a value meal in there, and the product will be made according to the highest standards of quality. So that's a promise which any brand gives you. And the brand includes the name, the symbol, or the other identifying information. So as you said, the brand represents a promise of value proposition to its customers. So if the brand value is higher, then the benefit part of that will go up, and then the customer value will be much more. So going back to the formula again, customer value is equal to benefits minus the cost. If the benefit happens to be a very popular brand, then you will perceive it to be a good value. On the other hand, the brand equity is an intangible value of the brand measured in dollars or in the currency figures. What it means is what is the value of a brand in terms of the money. And a great brand taps into the popular culture and touches consumers. It is part of the popular culture. And as you all know that based on the brand equity or the brand value, the ranking is done. And I have in my next slide, you can see how brand equity is or the brand value of various brands, top brands. Coca-Cola is worth about $68.7 billion. This is 2009. It might be much more now because this is 4 years ago. Similarly, IBM has got 60 billion. See, now in this list you'll note something very interesting. This is the top 10 ranking, and in this case you have from 1 to 10. As you can see that we have Google also, which mentioned to you before. Now Google is only what, about 15 years old organization, and it's worth about $32 billion. And Coca-Cola is about 100 years old, and it is 68 billion. So you can imagine that how fast Google has come up and what is the potential for Google going up and up too. Okay. Similarly, if you look at the top 100 companies or the 100 brands all over the world, have a look at some of the internet companies which have done very well, and among them Google is number one, and so on and so forth. We have various ranking of these various brands too. So what does it say? It says that it tells us that brands can be also created online too, but as you can see, or as we learn later on, creating brand is not very easy online, especially because it is very competitive, but it's possible. When we talk about the brand relationship, there is 5 level of intensity which creates the brand value or the brand equity. It does not happen overnight. The brands are built based on these step-by-step connections. The first one is awareness about the brand. Secondly, the identity of the brand, that you can display, for example, this brand proudly, and you might say, yes, I know this brand. Thirdly, is the connection. You communicate with the company, with the purchaser, between the purchases. And then the next one is the community. You communicate with each other in the sense that those who own this brand. So for example, companies like Harley Davidson has got a bunch of communities in which those people who either own the Harley or have interest in Harley become part of that community. And then they share ideas about how to improve that brand. Same way, I personally have uh, visited Apple community. This is when the internet started. I'm talking about 95. Yes, 95, 96. That was the time when Apple was becoming very popular and all these communities were being formed. And once you go there, you see that they become so loyal to that brand that they don't want to think about any other brand. They just keep on talking about that brand in itself. However, after that, you have the last phase, which is more of a brand loyalty, which is called the advocacy, which means you protect the brand. You tell others about the brand and you protect that brand. So imagine if a company has got a brand which has reached that stage, then they don't need to do advertising because the customers are going to be talking about themselves, about the brand. So this is the highest peak which is possible for the brand, and of course companies would love to get that at that stage, but lots of time they have problems along the line. Okay, so this is the highest intensity of the brand. Let's move to the branding decisions for the web product, for the online product. When we talk about online products, companies have to make some decisions regarding the brand. One way would be, or one thing which they have to decide is the firms can use existing brand names or create new brands on the net. Of course, the question here is that why can't they just use the existing brand? And let's try to see some reasoning for that too. It is much easier, of course, to create your own existing brand. You bring it online. But what if something goes wrong online with your brand? In that case, it will really hurt your offline brand as well. So for example, if there's a bank called abc.com or ABC Bank, and now they have come up with abc.com, and they're also doing the banking online. And what if something goes wrong online and the customers have got a problem with their um, so the customers may have problem with their uh, shall we say um, with the with their accounts, maybe the security has been undermined. In that case, it becomes a really serious issue because then it will affect your offline banking as well, in the case of a bank, of course, right? So this is why lots of firms, they try to use different names offline, and online they produce differently to avoid the risk if the new product or the channel should fail. So some of you probably know there's a magazine called Sports Illustrated. It has been there for years and very popular brand of magazine. But when the opportunity came in to come online, instead of taking the same name, Sports Illustrated Online, they decided to create a new brand online. They call it thriveonline.com. Probably the content are very similar for thriveonline.com, but they, at least because of the name, they keep it apart from each other. So in this case, one, the online brand cannot affect much offline, and the same way the offline brand cannot affect the online. You may ask that, because of this, it must be very costly for the companies to manage the two brands. That is true. However, based on the strategy, they still try to come up. So here's another example. Wired is a magazine. They changed its online version name called Hotwired instead. Okay. But generally speaking, the fact that now internet is quite uh, people are confident about the internet and it's very stable. So generally speaking, companies are now using the same name online as well, which they have offline. How about creating new brands for the internet marketing? Good brands should suggest something about the product and differentiate the product from its competitor. Very, very important. And it should be suitable for the legal protection. The name should not be such that which is not protectable. So in this case, when we are talking about internet, a good brand name should be short, memorable, easy to spell, and translate well into other languages. Now, I must remind you over here that one of the other, you can say, good thing about internet is that you could even use the generic names to create brand online too. So, for example, if we just said that we want to start a business offline called books or book, that may not be allowed. We may not be able to uh, get a trademark on that name because book is a very generic name. We cannot say that we want to, fix this name for our business because it's not allowed offline. But if you were to set up a website online, you could have a website called books.com if it's available. You see? So that's why it's really good, and that's why in the beginning lots of companies they booked such names so that they can then sell the names later on. And books.com is a very popular, or book.com is a popular name to have, of course, because then this way you can utilize it for the purpose of search engine, because if somebody is looking for books, your name would come right on the top. Co-branding. Co-branding occurs when two companies form an alliance to put their brand name on a product. In this case, is a good example. The Sports Illustrated and CNN got together to do a co-branding. Now, both of them have done this co-branding. We see that very commonly. For example, you might have seen that there's a credit card which is offered by KEB, and it is co-branded with Home Plus. So it's called KEB Home Plus credit card. That's an example of co-branding. Okay. Similarly, you can see Yahoo has joined the TV Guide and the Gist, etc. Earthlink joined the Sprint into 1998. Now, what is the purpose? The purpose behind that is that both of these organizations have got different customers, and they don't overlap. But when you do the co-branding, then it will combine in with the capabilities and you can get a lot more customers, or at least one brand will help the other brand too in this case. So in the case of KEB and Home Plus as an example, the Home Plus customers could become loyal to KEB and the KEB customers could become to the Home Plus, and that's the whole idea in this kind of co-branding. You must have heard about the internet domain names, as I mentioned to you about books.com, for example, or book.com. If you want to book this name or your own name, you have to go to what is called the URL, and this gives you a website address. It's very simple nowadays, and it's inexpensive to book your name if it is available. Domain names contain several levels. So first you have the HTTP backslash indicates that the browser should expect data using the hypertext protocol, and then you have the top level could be .com or the country name, such as .mx for Mexico, like we have KR for Korea, and the UK for United Kingdom. So based on which country you are registering your domain name, it could be available. Organizations should purchase alternative or related names and the spellings as well, because these are their products. So this is why Coca-Cola has got their The Coke, and the Coke.com also is theirs, and a number of related kind of names so that customers don't get confused with the other names though. So picking the right domain can make a huge difference in directing people correctly to a site or building consistency in marketing communication. So for example, if you are in the business of selling used books, you could probably register a name called www.usedbooks.com. Now the good thing about that is that online, anybody looking for used book will of course see your website on the top, because that name is the generic name though. And it's an excellent way to communicate with your customer. And if you have a website called www.usedbooks.com, it communicates exactly what you are doing. It tells that you are in the business of used books. Okay. And that way, when they come to your website, you can then direct them accordingly. Those books could be used textbooks, you could be used novels, or you could be science books or business books, etc., etc. However, at least the customer knows that you are in the business of used books. The third one is the support services. While we are talking about the benefits, still we are on the product benefits. Customer support is the critical component in the value proposition. The better customer service they get, the more customer value is perceived. So companies which provide the best customer support, they even get a better price for their product too. Customer service reps helps customers with installation, maintenance, products, guarantees, etc. to increase the customer satisfaction. Now, as you probably know, that if somebody goes online on a certain website, let's say www.abc.com, and you type in that and then you click in so that it loads in, research has shown that we would wait only 7 seconds, no more than 7 seconds, to get that website to be loaded. If it does not load in those 7 seconds, we would say, oh my God, it's taking forever, so we go to some other website. So what are the implications for that? The implication for that is that the organizations need to make sure that their web is always active and their server is active so that they're able to, anytime when customer clicks on it, is able to get the first page or the home page as fast as possible. And this is one of the reason why you will read that in the book also about the Google, that this is one of the reason why they have always kept their web page to be white color and get as little information as possible on the home page, so that anywhere in the world, anytime when somebody clicks in on the google.com, it will come up, it will download right away instead of wasting any time. That's part of the support services. In the case of CompUSA, this is an electronics company. It combines offline and online channels to increase the customer support. This has become very common now that online and offline supports are provided to their customers. Finally, the labeling. The labeling has a digital equivalent in the online world, which means online labels provide information about the product usage and features. Just like, for example, we see labels on some products which tells us about the product. So for example, if it's a food products, the label on that food product will give us the ingredients and so on and so forth. Same way the product benefit one is the labeling, which is the better labeling is done for the product, it means you get more support from that, then the better the customer will perceive the value of that product. Now also it is very important to understand that the legal information about the software is also available, and then not only that, when we are going online to make a payment on some product, let's say they ask us information about the credit card, and we get a little bit alert on that, whether is this a genuine company or not, right? So in this case, there are two companies online which they would put their logo on there, and that is part of the labeling, which means that'll give us the trust that these companies are members of this organization, like Better Business Bureau logo or the Trust E Privacy Shield. You might have seen that when you go to this credit card payment page, then they have a right sign, which is also called VeriSign. That tells us that it sort of guarantees us that you go ahead, give your information about your credit card, and it will not be undermined, it will not be stolen. We guarantee you for that. And this is what customers are looking for, and that's where online, in the online case, it adds value. I, for example, myself don't give my credit card information to um, on a web page where these kind of logos are not there, because on any blank page, if they ask me to give the credit card information, I will be very much concerned because I don't know where this information might go to. But in this case, if there are logos, then it will sort of guarantees that it will be available there. Finally, we have the co-design. In the customer customer co-designing is when this is actually become very common for internet and is actually like a dream come true for the organizations, in which case the customer is basically collaborating the business with the business and telling them uh, what products they're looking for and how to design the new product. So that's what is called the co-design. Software developers often seek support, customer support input about the new products. So they often allow user to download new products, test them, and provide feedback. As an example, anytime when Microsoft has got their new um, operating system, they would send it to they have about 500 people all over the world who will evaluate it. They are the customers, but they will evaluate that so that they can tell them whether if this product is good or not. And in case if there are some issues, they would give them suggestions and they would even co-design that. So the good marketers look for customer feedback to improve their products. Some set up blogs or gather customer ideas and inputs as well to improve themselves. This is where, as I said, that marketers are really happy with this kind of information because it gives them free information to improve their products and services. Next, we move to the new product strategies. How do you develop new products online? Many new products such as YouTube, Yahoo, etc. were introduced by one pony firm, which means the one individual companies. They were coming up with new products. However, other firms have added products into already successful marketing mix. So Yahoo, for the Yahoo company, there was no other product before. They were the first one. Same way YouTube was the first one. It was just a concept by the entrepreneur, and then it became successful. Company can choose among 6 categories of new product strategies. We have studied that in the principles of marketing or marketing management also, about what is considered to be a new product. And most of the time we know that some minor changes are done in the product, and that could be also considered new, but not the brand new product. Generally speaking, the brand new products are few offline, but in the case of online, there are lots and lots of new ideas which are coming in, and still there's a big potential for the marketers to get the new products and market them. Firms may select one of the 6 strategies based on the marketing objective, as we said about the new products. One is the discontinuous innovation, which are new to the word product. This is where most of the innovations or the new products are coming up. So this is discontinuous innovation. In other words, nothing is there out there at this point, but something new to the word is coming. At the time when, for example, iPad came in, you can say that it was a discontinuous innovation. Similarly, iPod was also a discontinuous innovation. New product lines in the second category are new products in a different category for an existing brand name. So the brand name is already there, but it's a new product category which is coming. So for example, we have, again going back to Google. Google just acquired a company. Um, I believe WhatsApp was acquired by them, or was it by Facebook? One of them acquired the WhatsApp. And so these companies now started up a new category of the products by buying them because they have the cash, or the addition of the existing product line. Maybe there's some existing product. I would say actually the example I gave you that fits more over here. Addition to the existing product line. So they already had the product. Now they have added some new products. Also, improvement or revision for the existing product. There are some examples provided in the book for the improvements, and I would suggest that you read the page 237 and I would say 239, 238 and 239 to look into the new products, into the products which are improvement of the existing products. So we see, for example, in the case of Microsoft, that they, after every year or so, they come up with the operating system. Those are the improvements they're done. Same way we have seen the improvement of iPad, which is come up with now 2.3 iPad, or same way with the iPhone 2. Then we also have repositioning products that can be targeted to different markets or promoted for new uses. In the case of eBay, they were the one, they moved to China, and I think they tried to come up with some new uses for that too. And then me to lower product cost. Maybe a new product is, it's not a new product, there's already existing product in the market, but a company launches a product which is far more cheaper, or the cost is much lower than the existing products too though. So as you can see, these are some of the new product strategies online. Make sure to read the chapter. This is all what I have for this chapter. Feel free to write me if you have any questions, or come to my Skype account if you have any specific question. So until the next session, take care and goodbye.